A registered sex offender has launched a Fresno City Council campaign to represent District 7, which includes Old Fig Garden, East Central Fresno, and parts of Southeast Fresno. He would join a crowded field vying for the seat when Councilman Nelson Esparza's term runs out. The controversial political hopeful spoke with Action News reporter Brisa Colon in his first television interview about the criminal past he's not hiding.
Well, I believe Fresno deserves leaders that are honest from the very beginning, not the end.
This registered sex offender seeks a council seat. And I want to know, oh my goodness, are you on board for registered sex offenders taking office? Is that something that you would vote for? Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Maybe he's innocent. Maybe he was railroaded by the law.
Nope.
No, there's no shadow of a doubt that this person is guilty because we're going to read his conviction.
So going into this, I am putting my life out there.
Up front about his status as a registered sex offender, Rene Campos is not running from his past as he runs for office.
I've been given the chance to rehabilitate through the courts and back into the system.
Charged with being in possession of child sex abuse material back in 2018.
Charged with having CSAM in 2018. Now, I looked up his charges. He was convicted when he was 15, once we get to it.
The Fresno native says he pled no contest to a misdemeanor charge. Now launching his campaign to represent District 7 on the Fresno City Council. He says his focus is on safety.
He said, hell no, wood chipper.
So I say, let's choose somebody outside the box. Somebody who knows the system from inside out. Because I've experienced the laws that we are trying to reform right now.
Now, which laws are he trying to reform? Hopefully not the laws regarding sex offenders, but he's never specifically identified what laws he would like to change.
Fresno County Clerk and Registrar of Voters James Coos says state law does not prevent a registered sex offender from running for office.
Once you leave prison, you're on probation, you actually are allowed in California to reapply and become a registered voter again, which would then make you eligible to be able to run as long as you are living in the proper jurisdiction.
Campos looks to enter a growing field of people.
Now, what do you think his competition thinks of his criminal record running for a council seat?
Vying for the seat. Another candidate says he shouldn't join the race.
I think it should be a disqualifier to serve in public office. If I'm the next council member in District 7 and I can't show up at a school site, how can I best represent the people in the neighborhoods I want to serve?
That's a great point. That's a great point. Like, wait, you're the council? Are you coming to the school?
Nope.
Nah, I typically try to stay away from speaking at schools. Well, that's where the youth is. The youth want to meet the new council person. I'm really want to just focus on talking to registered voters. There's ways you could talk around it. Ways you could be like, not for me.
Each candidate brings a different background and focus to the race. AJ Rossomny says homelessness is his priority.
I never thought I'm going to be in politics. However, I'm a business owner, I'm a community advocate, and I'm a problem solver.
Nav Gurm, endorsed by Mayor Jerry Dyer and the Firefighters Union, says he represents the next generation of leadership.
There's a lot of basic amenities our neighborhoods deserve and quite frankly need, and that's why I'm running.
Ariana Martinez-Lott, a mother.
Hey, look at Ariana Martinez-Lott. Look at that. Nice family. The families will get you elected. You know why people tend to vote for someone with a family? Because they're stable. Families sometimes represent stability, even if the family is unstable, but family, stable, mom, married, 2 kids, and a dog to boot.
Is calling for more investment in neighborhoods.
I don't have political aspirations. I am running to continue the work that we have been doing here locally as residents in our city.
Campos has not yet filed for the office. He and the other candidates have until the 6th to submit their paperwork. The primary election is the first Tuesday in June. Brisa Colon, ABC 30.
Now, the comments surrounding this guy has not been, how would you say, once a sex offender, always a sex offender. They don't change. If you ever a movie quote, he's a sex offender with a record, should be disqualified from running for a public office. That should be it. It should be a no-brainer.
No, he's a sex offender with a record.
They will just cover up the tiny little variable and nobody will hear about it until the next victim surfaces, you know. Crazy. Typical sense of the father with gruesome Newsome. Oh, man. The views on this are fitting. Look, man. 666. Oh my God, dog. I mean, I just can't. I mean, Facebook was more vicious. Like, Facebook was like, it was a hard no, but like, there was one person in there who was like, you know what? I would rather vote for him than the guy with the turban on. I'm like, you know, it is what it is. As someone who recently grew up in Fresno, this is about the Fresnoiest thing I've heard recently. I'm running for the same seat. Unlike Renee Campos, my name isn't on any list. Oh, shit, bro. What was the reply? I don't know, man. You look a little fishy. I think I'll take the dude on the list. See? Oh. Is Anthony Weiner advising his campaign? Wait, is Gavin endorsing him? Well, we all knew it was California. Look, when I got this story, and I was like, oh, it's definitely some California stuff. I knew it was California. I was like, no, it's California. This is the only place where this type of stuff is like minor attracted person. They like redefine it. I lead to stand where pressure is, not where the cameras are. Okay, says the guy who just did the interview. I was raised in Fresno by a mother who taught me to protect the vulnerable, tell the truth, even when it costs you, and never tolerate abuse. Those values didn't come from politics. Okay. Now, what you would notice when you go to the page, there is no mention. I've worked and led teams and held institutions accountable. They fail to hold themselves accountable. I've faced real systems, real consequences, and real responsibility. I learned early that leadership isn't about permission. It's about responsibility. You would think as soon as you come to his page, you would see like, hey, this is, by the way, I am on the list. But they don't. Most sex offenders don't even admit to romantic partners that they're a sex offender. I've experienced homelessness. I know what it feels like to be shut out, sit in circles and judged instead of help. That's why I don't talk about hardships as theory. I talk about it as lived experience. I lived in District 7. I know what it costs to survive here. I know what it means when families are forced to choose between essentials, when survival becomes a series of impossible choices. That's not failure of a character. It's failure of leadership. I believe that is built through presence, honesty, action. If you ask why I made a decision, I'll tell you clearly and directly. Transparency should be real, performative. Real, not performative. The accountability should apply everywhere, everywhere, not just those without power. I don't measure leadership by applause. I measure it by who I stand with. Cost something. I owe no one. I have no strings. Well, you know, as a sex offender, you do got to register when you move. If you don't believe me, ask Young Sage. My responsibility is the people and to the truth. And I will carry that responsibility with discipline, independence, and respect for the work for the community. This shit sounds good, but at the end of the day, this guy got caught with CSAM, like child sex abuse material, as in underage. Now, I'm sure like if we look at his jacket, he'll say, well, look, I was 15 at the time. I was 15. God, I'm not about to go back through and look it up again, but this person was 15 at the time when it happened. They played no contest because you got caught with it in your possession. But let me know, will you vote for a registered sex offender if they were on your city council seat? ballot? Let me know in the comment section. See you next video. Peace.